we've got training sites everywhere right now, right? I mean, everywhere you look, someone's got a site that they're running. What is it about hybrid poker? What is it that attracted Daniel Negreanu to work with you and Matt? Can you give us a little insight as to how hybrid poker is going to separate itself from every other training site that's out there?
Yeah, there's a lot of good training sites, and then there's a lot of not good training sites. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take the best of all worlds. And effectively, what we created is an accelerated learning tool. We have an AI progressive guided learning system that you play in our software, and it tells you exactly where your mistakes are across the entire game tree for no limit, six max, and full ring cash games. And so, for example, if you're having troubles on the turn, facing bets or betting yourself, or facing overbets or check raises, etc., it's going to put you in that exact situation until you get a high enough score to continue and progress. So what's going to happen is you play on our software. It examines your entire game tree of all the nodes across the board. And so if your opening sucks, it's going to tell you that your opening sucks. If your continuation betting on certain textures is not good, or your frequencies are incorrect, or you're not constructing your ranges appropriately, we're going to pinpoint literally everything. And it's going to teach you, the AI system will teach you automatically where your weakest points and your best points are. And it's designed to take you through the most efficient journey you can to learn the game of heads up, six max, full ring. The day of books and videos, they're just over.
Wow. When is it coming out, man? I mean, this is exciting. Do you guys have a launch date?
Yeah, so we're looking to launch around 6 months.
And is it a product, MJ, that is accessible, or you think relevant to more of the everyday, like the everyman player, like that kind of small stakes, maybe mid stakes tournament player? Or do you see this as just being a product that will help out high stakes players?
Everyone from the entire spectrum. From the very beginner, I play once a month at my local casino tournament, to I play professionally. I play 25, 50 online, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can go as deep as the client wants to go. Me and Matt were at the Bicycle Casino. They gave us an office to work at because we were commentating, but we were still working on our business at the time. And they said, hey, since you guys are working here, you guys can just work in a back office. And we were, thank you very much. The bike, cool, appreciate it. So we're working, and it was like 2 a.m, some random Wednesday. It was, I guess, the WPT tournament was there. And I walk outside to take a breather, and Phil Hellmuth is walking by himself to the cafeteria. So I walk back in the office. I tell my partner, I said, Matt, let's go talk to Phil. Let's show him what we have. Let's talk to him. He can definitely use this information. It might be good for both of us. Well, let's just see. So me and Matt walk up to him. He's walking to the cafeteria. We walk up to him. We said, Phil, can we have 5 minutes of your time? We want to show you and kind of talk to you about what we have. I think you'd find it quite interesting. So he says, sure, son. And he doesn't know who I am at this point. No one does, right? And he doesn't know my partner either. But he looks at me and goes, sure, son. Let me order really quick and I'll get back to you. So me and my partner are sitting there like fools, right? And quasi fans. While he's ordering his, peanut egg rolls or whatever. And he comes back to us 5 minutes later. He sits his food down and he goes, I have 5 minutes for you. I go, okay, Phil, this is what we have. This is what we're doing. This is how we plan to execute it. These are all the reasons that we're different from all the other companies, etc. And I can quote him, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, you know what? I absolutely love what you're saying. I love what you have. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because of how awesome what you're telling me is. But it's not for me. I don't need it. I'm already at the top. This would be good for someone like Daniel. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send over my agent, and I'm going to have him kick the tires. and do the due diligence to make sure that this is real and legit and scientifically quantifiable and proven and mathematically sound. And I said, okay, you got it, Phil. Thank you for your time. The next day, his agent flies out to Los Angeles. We're in the middle of a Friday, or I think it was a Thursday big game or something, and we're both commentating. And the agent shows up and texts me and says, I'm outside. I leave the booth. We talk to him. I talked to him for an hour and a half. I haven't slept in 36 hours at the time. And we talked to him, and he goes, okay, let's test all the math. If it's legit, I want you to meet Daniel. Turned out everything was legit. It was exactly what we said it was. And within a week, we're in Vegas now meeting Daniel Negreanu for the first time. And I can go on about this. I don't want to bore you guys.
No, it's just fascinating, man. Keep going. Yeah.
So we go to the hotel. They paid for it and everything. And this is years ago. So like we're still starry-eyed and, not jaded and, like we're like sky's the limit at the time, right? And so we get to the RIM. I can't sleep at all. I don't sleep the entire night. I'm nervous. I'm excited. My partner the same. And the next day comes and we meet up and we drive over to Daniel's house and we have to go through the gate and I have to call him and he has to accept us in. And so we park out in front of his house. And me and my partner get out of the car. It's like 110 degrees or whatever. We get out of the car and we sit on the curb and we're like, this is it, man. Like this is career making or career breaking. Like we need to be able to communicate in a way that he understands this, that won't overload him or confuse him, but also communicate in a way where he sees the value and how he can apply it, right? Because there's subjective ideas and objective truths, right? And knowing the difference between the two and how to teach somebody, like there's a myriad of different barriers to entry to get into solver work and GTO and understanding the differences of when to use GTO, when to use exploitative, and why they're different and how they're different, because years ago it was GTO versus exploitative. And me and my partner, we kind of laughed at that. We were like, no, that's not correct. This is why we're actually called hybrid poker. You need to be able to execute both, right? So like if you play just purely GTO against a random opponent at your 5100 game at a casino where you live, like what GTO is going to do, yeah, you're going to be balanced across the board, but you're also going to forgive your opponent's mistakes. And if you play exploitatively, you now can be counter-exploited and you're not balanced and they can easily make adjustments to just fuck you. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Sorry, I digressed there. We're standing in front of Daniel Negreanu's house and we're sitting on the curb and we were like, this is it. Like, this is what we've been working for. And we go into the meeting and we kill it. I mean, we just kill it. He fucking knew it. Daniel is so much sharper than people give him credit for. It's unreal. Like, I thought we were going to walk into this old dusty Regs house and, he wasn't going to understand. He's not going to know what a range is. And he's not going to know that what your hand does derives from your range, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to be fair, he didn't know that much about it, but he learned so fucking quickly. It was unreal. And then we closed that deal. We worked with him. We signed with the agent ourselves. And then we started working with a whole bunch of high-profile clients, all of which were like, we're signing NDAs. No one can know you exist. We don't want anybody else to have information. Like, we just want you guys for ourselves. And what we found was we were getting pulled in so many directions of like, no, come with us. No, come with us. And everyone was saying the same. Stay private, stay quiet, keep your head down, play the private games and crush them, but don't go public. And this is kind of why I keep getting asked the question, who the fuck are you? Where have you been? And so that's why.
Hey everyone, this is No Gamble, No Future. All the sports betting and Brent, really just all the pure degeneracy.
You gotta risk it to get the biscuit. Like and subscribe.
Please?